You're watching The Final Takeaway. Thanks for stopping by, and hey, let me know if you want us to do a live chat forum tomorrow afternoon about 2 p.m. or so. Now for the details. The investigation continues into the shocking and suspicious circumstances by which 11-year-old Adrianna Young lost her life at the Doubleday Hotel. This is also the location where she was last seen alive by relatives on April 23, 2025, before the discovery of her body on April 24, 2025. Fast forward to a week later, we're now learning that Bhojnarine Bhola, a key person of interest in the case who was arrested, has been released from police custody. Bhola is the owner of the hotel and has raised suspicion among the Guyanese population that he may at the very least know something about the circumstances leading to the child's demise. We do not know the exact date he was officially arrested and detained for questioning, or the date he was released. All we know from the police is that he was released after 72 hours. In the latest major news from the Guyana Police Department, Bhola's DNA will be tested in this case. So we're here to discuss why the police required DNA samples from Bhojnarine Bhola. I know it sounds like an obvious question, but grab a seat and let's dig deeper into this shocking development. Also, I know many of our viewers have various opinions about what they think really happened in this tragic and very sad incident. I do have to let you know that our channel has a contract with YouTube, which restricts comments with certain words. I know emotions are still running high, and I cannot imagine what Adrianna Young's family is going through at the moment. But if you can kindly tailor your comments, the rest of our audience will be able to see your viewpoints. For example, words such as the K word, the S word, and the R word, I would want to avoid that if I were you in this case. Let's continue. Again, we're here to find out why the police required DNA samples from the Doubleday Hotel owner, Bhojnarine Bhola. Stay with me. We're building up a scenario here as we brainstorm the intricate circumstances around how the child mysteriously vanished and later, in equally mysterious fashion, suddenly showed up in the hotel's swimming pool, unalive. Now, most of us know what DNA is. It is biological and genetic material found in places like the blood, saliva, and skin cells. No two persons have the same DNA structure, which helps forensic analysts identify who a particular DNA sample is linked to. That being said, let's get back to why the hotel's owner was singled out. Why not someone else? Of all the people physically close to the disappearance of the child and her subsequent death, why Bhola? Why was it necessary to obtain his DNA samples? And here is where things get more intriguing or suspicious, as some might say. Not only did the police need the man's DNA for testing, but we've been informed that the reason is to test his DNA in relation to the mysterious circumstances surrounding Adrianna Young's passing. This is a mic drop moment. Hello, guys, from the looks of it, this is turning into a homicide investigation. They say I should feel guilty and change my ways, leaving crumpled bodies in my wake. Let's now look at the circumstances under which a police investigation into a death leads to the collection of the arrested person's DNA. Police investigators routinely collect DNA samples from a suspect in cases where they suspect homicide. The suspect's DNA is tested to link or exclude them from any involvement. DNA evidence also helps to build a strong case for the prosecution or for the defense to exonerate the suspect. DNA evidence provided also function as a critical clue on who had physical contact with the deceased, also for identifying the suspect and for corroborating other evidence. In terms of linking or excluding suspects in a suspicious death, DNA analysis can establish a definitive link between a suspect based on biological evidence found at the scene, such as blood, saliva, or skin cells of both the deceased and the suspect. In the same way, this process can rule out individuals as suspects. So, DNA testing in such circumstances can actually benefit a suspect by exonerating them from a crime. Now, the Guyana Police Department has not ruled this case a crime, and they have not publicly named Bhojnarine Bhola as a suspect. And most importantly, we here at the Final Takeaway are not saying Bhola committed a crime involving Adrianna Young. We are simply looking at the facts and trying to understand the why. His DNA was sent for testing, and these are the key reasons why investigators obtain and analyze the DNA of a suspect or a person of interest. Let's be very clear on that. We're not here to accuse Mr. Bhola or speculate or imply that he's involved. We want to deal with facts, and of course, everyone is entitled to have an opinion, which of course you will share in the comment section. Which brings us to the next key reason why DNA is taken in a suspected homicide case. DNA is sometimes taken to establish what's called contact or touch DNA. DNA evidence, particularly touch DNA, can show whether a suspect had physical contact with the deceased, which is important in cases involving assault, strangulation, or other forms of physical violence. However, a person can have touch contact with a deceased person, but that does not always mean they are responsible for the person's death. Another reason why investigators collect DNA samples is to help narrow down a list of potential suspects, which helps them to exclude the suspects at the same time. This process is called DNA testing for the purpose of elimination. To do this, the forensic DNA analyst will compare DNA taken from the suspect with the DNA found at the crime scene to ensure the evidence is linked or not linked to the suspect. If there is no match between the suspect's DNA and the DNA at the scene of a suspicious death or on the body of the deceased, this lets investigators move on to the other persons of interest. Based on these reasons, we can glean from all the facts that the police may have taken DNA from Mr. Bhola for one or more of the reasons we just discussed. Remember, this remains an open investigation from the police's end. Also, we're awaiting a more detailed report from the pathologists who conducted the autopsy on Adrianna. So far, her death has been ruled a drowning. We do not know if it was an accidental or homicidal drowning. We also don't know the time of death and the location of the drowning. They say I should feel guilty and change my ways, leaving crumpled bodies in my wakes. Okay guys, that's all for now. Let me know if you'd like to do a live chat forum on this channel tomorrow afternoon around 2 p.m. or so. Share this video, share this channel, share your views in the comment section, and let's meet up again soon for another look at this tragedy that rocked the nation and people across the world. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.